About 8 months ago, I bought a pair of August EP650 headphones, wireless Bluetooth. They lasted about 8 months, and then they stopped charging properly. I think there was a problem with the micro USB port here underneath this side. I contacted August, and they were nice enough to send me this pair of headphones as a replacement. They got it to me quickly. There was no fuss, no muss. I was really appreciative of it. I had it for a couple of days, and I had them plugged in charging. Looked over and noticed that this charge light here, which is supposed to be red when it's charging, was off. I went to grab it to find out what was going on. I touched it and burned myself. It was very, very hot. So I contacted August, and they wanted me to send them up to Canada at my own expense to have them looked at and potentially replaced. I'm not really interested in doing that. What I am interested in doing is pulling these things apart and seeing what's going on in here, and seeing, you know, how far it'll go, if it'll go into a complete meltdown or what. First, what I'm going to do is we'll get these plugged in, and we will use an IR thermometer just to kind of see how high this goes and where it stops. So let's go ahead and do that. And this heats up pretty quickly, so we shouldn't have to wait too long. I will fast forward through the video a little bit. Let's just give it a couple of minutes. It's currently about 78, 79 in here. So we'll just give that a minute, and we'll start taking a look at the temperature on here. Honestly, I'm curious to see if this thing will go into a full meltdown or what, because like I said, it was hot and it burned me. I mean, it didn't like leave a blood blister, you know, a burn blister or anything, but it did hurt. So, alright, let's see what we got so far. Okay, see, you can see here, 130, 120. So it's right in here. This is the hot spot. So it's not actually at the connector, but it's close. It's probably something in the charging circuitry, but we will pull it apart and find out. But first, let's just let this go for a few minutes. I'll speed up the video, and we'll see what this is like in say maybe 5 minutes. Alright, about a minute later, let's take a look and see where we're at now. Alright, 152 I saw. It's kind of a localized area, so it's kind of difficult to, oh, there we go, 150, 153. And if I hold it still, I bet we can see it counting up. Yeah, there we go. So it's definitely on its way up. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and stop this because it's smelling a little bit. I think there are parts that are hotter than what I'm seeing here. So let me go ahead and let this cool off for a few minutes, and we'll rip it apart and see what's causing the problem. Okay, she's cooled off for a few minutes, so let's get this thing apart and see what looks like inside. Okay, that's the cover off, and oh, get this circuit board out of here. I think we'll just pull these off because I don't really have any use for it now. Those are just the speaker wires. I'm going to leave the rest of these wires on here just in case they're part of what the problem is. I highly doubt the speaker is. So this is the board. Let you guys take a look at it. I'm assuming we've got charge controller and then the all-in-one chip here for Bluetooth and audio. Actually, this might be the Bluetooth here. Let me take a look and look up these numbers, and then we'll talk about them. Hold on. Okay. Man, those chips are tiny. Okay, so this one, the one on the right here, I was not able to determine what it is. The label on it is just entirely too small. And honestly, I can't really figure out what it would be anyway. This is an EEPROM, serial EEPROM. This is a Qualcomm CSR 8645, kind of all-in-one audio Bluetooth chip. It's got Bluetooth built into it. It's got the amplifier for the speakers. It's got a charge controller for the LiPo and LiPo control and all that. So I'm guessing that this is what's going to be heating up. But yeah, I don't know what this one would be over here. If anybody has any idea, let me know. Like I said, I couldn't get close enough to it to read it. The letters on it are really faint. So I need to get a microscope at some point, so that stuff will be a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and hook this thing up to some power and see what happens. Now, given that this kind of is an all-in-one chip solution, which is kind of what I expected it to be, I'm expecting this chip, the Qualcomm chip, to be the culprit and to overheat and for bad things to ensue. But let's find out. Alright, she's starting to warm up, I'm sure. Oh yeah, it's that chip. That's already burning me. So just out of curiosity, I do want to disconnect the cables over here and see if that makes any difference. So let's unplug this. I have tried this with different chargers as well, and it's the same problem every time. So let's go ahead and disconnect these cables, and by that I'm just going to rip them off. There we go. Now they're disconnected. Alright, let's get this out of the way, and let's plug this thing in and see just how hot it gets. Let me grab the thermometer. Take a look here. Alright, we're at, I'll say 100 and... I saw 180 there. That's Fahrenheit. Oh, 204, 205. Alright, I'm just going to let this sit and see if it kind of tops out somewhere or if it goes full nuclear on us here. There's 246. Now I had this unplugged, or I had this plugged in for quite a few minutes before I realized it was burning up. So I'm just kind of curious to see if this failure mode would lead to potentially, I don't know, a fire possibly? Probably not, but I mean it is encased in plastic that, you know, chances are this plastic will burn or melt and then catch something else. Possibly not, though. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, it's been another minute or so. Let's take a look. We got 265. So it's definitely getting toasty. While we're waiting for this thing to do what it's going to do, just wanted to let you guys know, coming up, I do have a Variac build, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. I put a video out yesterday just kind of showing where I got the Variac from. And we're also going to look at another power supply. I've got, well, quite a few power supply videos to do. I also recently picked up a vacuum tube voltmeter, which unfortunately got damaged in shipping, so I didn't pay very much for it. I got it on eBay. Hopefully we can fix it, but either way it'll make for an interesting video. What else are we going to be working on? Like a bunch of Arduino stuff we're going to be working on. I'm going to be doing a 10 megahertz GPS DO, GPS disciplined oscillator that I'm going to be following. I can't remember the guy's name. One of the other gentlemen that does electronics videos, he did a really good in-depth series about a GPS DO using the Nero chips. So I have everything I need for that, and that'll be fun. Alright, let's see what we've got here now. Okay, we got 268. Seems like it might be leveling off, but I'll let it sit for a few more minutes. Just keep a close eye on it, and we'll take one more measurement and see if it keeps climbing or if that's pretty much where it's going to stop based on the power that it has available to it. Okay, let's take a final reading here. Once again, it's 80 degrees in here. This is in Fahrenheit. And the chip is sitting, resting at a very toasty, we'll say 250 degrees Fahrenheit. It hasn't really gone up anymore from there. I think that's kind of where it's going to sit. It is starting to smell. Definitely getting a burned electrical smell in here. Certainly not good for its surroundings, but I don't think it would have caught on fire in the long run. Maybe if it had more power available to it. So, okay, well, thanks for watching. Just like I said, I was curious about what the situation with this thing was, and you know, I was a little disappointed that when I told them that it burned me, they weren't willing to take it back. However, they did provide me with the replacement for the first one for free, pretty much no questions asked. So, yeah, if you're gonna buy a pair of August 650 headphones, keep an eye on it. Make sure it doesn't get too hot. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you around soon. As a quick addendum, I was curious to see. I'm gonna take this little piece of plastic here and see if this chip's hot enough to melt the plastic that was surrounding it. So we got this corner. It's gonna be kind of hard to see, but this corner's pristine right now. So I'll take it and I'll just kind of lay it on the chip, because you know the infrared thermometer is fairly accurate, but it's a cheap thermometer and it's not reading the hottest part of the hottest point of the chip. It's doing an average of the chip and whatever surrounding area it happens to have. So let's see what a few seconds sitting on top of this chip will do to this plastic. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to show you if it does do anything, because it's going to be kind of small and subtle, but I do feel a little bit of wiggle going on here. So okay, you see it almost stuck to it, and you can see, hopefully you can see that corner is deformed now, and that's not from me pushing on it. That's melted by the chip. So given enough time, you could potentially have a problem here with melting plastic if this thing was left alone, which, you know, is exactly what you would do if you were charging it. So anyway, all right, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.